foundation. Um, and it's all around how to market yourself and your business. So there's two things here. One is if you're returning to work, you've got to learn how to market yourself, right? And if you're launching a business, you have to learn how to market your business. So I think the important thing is to realize that in 2021 and 2020, which we're in right now, no matter what you do, you are going to have to get yourself on screen. Because there's pretty much no way, especially right this minute, there's no way for us to meet in person. This entire virtual summit has been brought together very lovely online in a way that we can connect, but we otherwise wouldn't be able to connect with each other. So I love the fact that right now, Hannah, Jane, Kate, Lisa, Lynn, Madeline, or Maddie, I know your real name, Mary, Mita, Monica, you're all here, and Pavlina, you're all here. We're all chatting, we're all talking to each other. Right, I can see that Martha's currently volunteering at the Fair Trade Foundation, but looking for some paid work. Exactly. So the important thing is we are able to connect online. So you've got to get comfortable online. That's number one. There is a big gap in women's confidence in tech. So we did a study of 1,000 women a couple years ago, and we found that the greatest stumbling block back to work was tech, their fear of technology and thinking that other people have better tech skills than you do. First and foremost, just realize that everyone is having to learn technology just like you are, right? And no one's ahead of anyone else. There's new technology coming out every day. None of us knew how to use this software until today, the virtual Flexpo software. So just be aware of that. But I'd say there's from a business perspective, there's three things you need to do. Number one, you need to get your mindset right, okay? This is also from a personal perspective. Your ideal customer exists and your ideal employer exists. And it's understanding who your ideal employer and who your ideal customer are. Now, if you're setting up a business, your ideal customer is the customer who pays you, okay? And if you're going back to work, your ideal customer is your ideal employer is the employer who gives you the type of work that you want. So if you're looking for flexible work, can you just type flexible in the comments? And if you are looking to launch a business, can you type in business in the comments? And then I know which one you are, so I can kind of tailor it. Yeah, so Aoife is business. Yep, good. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, and Ellie is business. Okay, a lot of business. Okay, flexible and business. Yeah, okay, and Caroline is business. And Rachel is flexible. Okay, super. And Fiona's flexible. Okay, perfect. So the first thing you need to start doing is visualizing that perfect perfect employer. And I wouldn't say perfect, that ideal employer and that ideal customer. Who are they? Right? What do they do? How, and I'll tell you one thing, I'll give you a story from my past. We used to sell websites. And one day my business partner and I sat down and we wrote down our 10 favorite customers and our 10 least favorite customers. And our 10 favorite customers were the ones who paid on time, never haggled on price, always loved our work and gave us gifts. And I literally have gifts in the other room that I got from my favorite customers. And then we had a list of our 10 worst customers. And they were people who always haggled on price, never paid on time, never liked what we gave them, always wanted things changed, never, came back around and apologized when they made a mistake, etc. And we just fired them all. And we just started saying, okay, let's double down on how we find more customers like our 10 favorite. And one of the things that people make a mistake of, and this is with employers and also with customers, is intuitively they might know that it's not right, but they'll take it anyway. Right? In this environment where, there's 900 more people applying for every job than there was before, you might just say, oh, I'll just take any job. And that's the mistake, because you will never thrive when you take just any job. And you will never thrive when you work with just anyone. So get really clear on what your niche is with your business, and make sure that your messaging is tailored to that niche, and make sure that you're working for people that are willing to pay you. Someone said that they volunteer right now. If anyone has ever done free work for someone, can you say yes in the comments? Because I'm going to give you a really quick tip on how to fix that and how to start getting past that. Okay. Yeah, Aoife says yes, Diana says yes, Fiona says yes. We do it, right? We don't get paid to be mothers. Now, I know not all of you are mothers, but a lot of you are. We don't get paid to be mothers. So we take that into the workplace too. And we think, oh, I don't really know my craft, so I'm going to do this for free. But eventually you do know your craft. You could do 1 or 2 or 3 projects for free, maybe for, let's say, a month to 6 weeks, and that's it. Once you've done a few of those, you've got a case study, and you put that, you've got an example of what you can do, and you can start charging. So here is the quick tip for those of you who have been doing, IFA for 4 years. It's time to give them your notice, okay? Because when you're doing free work, you're not able to do paid work. It's impossible to do both. You can't do free work and paid work at the same time. You only have a limited number of time in your day. So if you are doing free work for people, this is the challenge I want to give you. I want you to sit down and I want you to write an invoice. And I want you to write down all the hours that you've done for that person. And I want you to put a number on that hour, right? On that hourly rate. So I have someone who comes and she cleans my house. She comes every week, and she does a really good job. And I pay her about 50 pounds every week, right? So I know that the going rate for someone who comes and helps at my house is around 15 pounds an hour, for example, okay? 15 to 20 pounds an hour. So what I would say is, if you're doing a task where you're actually working on something that's not cleaning someone's house, and I'm just using that as an example, then you give a price on it that's higher than that. So you just choose a price, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 60 pounds, whatever you want to put, doesn't matter. Take all the numbers of the hours you've done, put that price on there, and then you give them an invoice. Now, I'm not saying you ask them to pay for the invoice. What you then do is you put discount at the bottom, and you put 100%. And you then put, negative, like let's say you did 100 hours for 60 pounds an hour. That's just so you know, that's 6,000 pounds of work you've done. And then you just put a discount of 6,000 pounds, and you say, I've done 6,000 pounds worth of work for you. And you can also do, I like to do reports where you say, okay, well, this is what I actually did for you, not just the like hourly rate, but you say like, here's what I accomplished in the time that I worked for you. So if you're working for free, here's what I would say. Give yourself a time limit. Give the person you're doing free work for notice. Let them know that in 2 weeks or in 1 month, you're going to stop doing the work for free. Give them an invoice for all the work you've done up until then. Put a huge 100% discount and say, I'm not expecting you to pay this, but I do want you to be aware of the value of the work I've given you. I'm no longer able to continue working for you for free right now because I'd like to put my time into paid employment. Now, you may find that they will employ you, right? That's the other thing that does happen. And there's nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with working for free to get yourself off the ground. But once you're off the ground, baby, you stop doing it for free. And then if you've got a ton of money and you're all set, you don't need any more money, and you've got a team of people and whatever, and you want to do free work, and that's like your way of giving back, that's great too. At TechPixies, with my product, what we do is we have women who are on universal credit or PIP or ESA. They can apply for a scholarship. They still have to pay, but they get a reduced fee. And that's because we're a social enterprise, and we want to honor women who are genuinely in a financial situation where they cannot pay. But if the household income is over 16,000, we think they can pay for the course because the course fee is affordable. All right, so that's what I would say is number one, start to visualize your ideal employer, your ideal customer, and stop doing free work, okay? And make sure that you put together this invoice and let them know the value they're giving you. Martha says, I was waiting to get a job before I'd quit volunteering. Okay, now Martha, for every hour you're volunteering, you're not job hunting. For every hour you're volunteering, you're not networking. For every hour you're volunteering, you're not setting up virtual coffees with people and finding out more about their businesses or applying for jobs, right? And I'm not saying volunteering is wrong. I'm just saying that what happens is people get into a rut and they volunteer, and then they get major imposter syndrome that they could never get a paid job. I did it. I've done it. I've been that person. My first business, I didn't make a single penny. I worked for free for 5 years. Built an incredible business, which is now still running, and there's people who get paid to run it. Never did I ever get money out of it. I only got out what I put into it, right? So part of it's in the head. You've got to change the way you think, and you've got to say, I am valuable. I am deserving. I deserve a job. I am good at what I do. And for some of you, that might be very difficult. So my second tip is around the lines of changing your negative thoughts. So being aware of the thoughts that you're telling yourself. So if you say, I am not worthy, or I'm not good enough, you have to rewrite that dialogue. and you have to start looking at parts of your life where you are good enough and where you are worthy, and start looking at the evidence of all those things that you have done for people. And that's why, creating a case study about the work that you've done for someone is really, really, really great, because you can start to see conceptually that you've done a lot, right? And then when you're in an interview, you can say that. So that's the other thing I would say is start to collect all the things that you've done in the past, all the results you've gotten for people. And really, when you're marketing yourself, that's what you're marketing. You're sharing your wins. At TechPixies, we like to do hashtag win, sharing your wins, where every time something good happens, you share it, you talk about it. And you need to be capturing these for your clients, for yourself. Even when you go and you work for a company, you need to be capturing your wins, because those are the things that you pull out of the back of your brain when you're in an interview and they say, well, tell us about a time that you turned something around, or tell us about a time where you used your strengths, or tell us a time when you pulled something off that was hard to pull off. If you've been banking your wins and writing down your wins, it's a great, great thing to do. And you can shout about those wins. At TechPixies, on our social media feeds, we shout all the time out about our students who are doing amazing things. And that's important to me, is to show that we get results for our students. So if you can get results, you need to show those results. So in 2021, you've got to get used to being on camera, right? So you need to visualize your ideal employer, visualize your ideal customer. You need to focus on the mindset, make sure that your internal self-dialogue is positive and moving you forwards towards what you want. You need to think about, am I volunteering too much time? Am I ready? Do I have the skill set to charge for this? And be brave. We talk a lot about it at TechPixies, put your brave pants on, be brave, and put yourself out there, because the answer is always no if you never ask the question. If you never go and tell someone that you're looking for work, or you start a conversation about their company, etc., then you're not going to know if it's going to work out for you. So just for those of you, we have to wrap up. It's a very short conversation, but and I'll open up for questions in a second. But in the resources, if you go to the exhibitor hall and you go to the resources, there is a book, Social Media Success, and we normally sell it on our website for £5.90. You can get it for free today if you add it to your swag bag. We also have a Canva vision board training, and this is where you can visualize your future self, and you can ask her a question, and you can start to get the idea of how to visualize things. We have a vision board exercise where you can put together a vision board, and you can start to visualize what your future is going to look like. If you work out of where you are now, you will never get to where you want to be. So you have to always tap into where you want to be. You always have to see where the future is and keep your eye on that. My favorite verse, it's sitting right here, is Hebrews 11:1, and it says, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. You do not know what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years, but that's where faith comes in, that you are certain of what you hope for. But you have to show your brain what you hope for in order to start getting it. So make sure you go into the resources, grab all the resources from TechPixies, put them into your swag bag, come chat with us on our stand. That would be great. And of course, if you go to techpixies.com/Flexpo, we've got a £20 discount for our social media supercharge course. It's CPD certified, and I think you would love it. If you have questions, come and talk to me. Now, I'll stay on right now just for a few more questions, because it looks like the next talk isn't until 11:25. So if you have direct questions about social media, about marketing yourself, about marketing your business, drop it in here. But as I said, get comfortable with being on video, start to see your value, start to write down all the hours you're doing, just put a number on it, start to see how much money you're giving away if you're working for free, okay? And really work on that negative self-talk, start to find evidence in your life where you've really done some amazing things, and start to celebrate your wins and put those together. And in terms of marketing, make sure you're getting it out there. Now, the last two things I'll say, and again, it's in the swag bag if you want to go and drop it into, drop the resources in. We have a podcasting guide. So if you're not comfortable on video, I definitely suggest you get comfortable on video. We also have a guide for how to launch a podcast. So definitely check that out in the resources as well, because that will get you going in terms of just how to get a podcast off the ground. Podcasts are taking off right now. They're a great way to market to people. I know at TechPixies, I started doing a podcast, and I show up every single week live on my Facebook feed. We download that Facebook Live, we upload it to our podcast software, and we email it out to our list. And that's been a huge asset, not just to our students who are thinking about joining us, but our current students. So podcasting is another way to market yourself and your business. And really all it is getting people to know, like, and trust you. And here's the last piece of advice I'll give you. I don't see any questions, but if you do have questions, drop it in there. Last piece of advice I'll give you is that people buy from people still. And I know we're in a virtual world, but people buy from people. So if you can connect with a person on a personal level where they're starting to know, like, and trust you, that is where business starts to change. And I've learned this from a lot of my online mentors. Marie Forleo, she wrote a book called Everything is Figure Outable. I love Amy Porterfield and all of her stuff. She has the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. Those ladies are hugely, wildly successful. It is 100% possible to be a woman and have a successful 7 or 8 figure business, let alone a 6-figure business, right? It is very, very possible. You have to start investing in yourself. You have to start surrounding yourself with the right people, and you have to start moving forwards. All right, there's a question from Sonia. She says, any advice on creating new connections and contacts during virtual times? Yes. Well, Sonia, first of all, you're here. So be very proud of yourself for being here. This is a win. Now, I know the software here is a little bit confusing, but if you go into the chat area, you can go into, I think it's the event, there's like an event chat room, and you can see everyone who's here. So you can go and start doing private chats with them. So I think that would be really, really, really helpful. So I hope that really works, but definitely do these events. Definitely reach out to people. Get onto LinkedIn, send direct messages, start to do virtual coffees. Just if you're going to do virtual coffees, be really clear on what you're doing a virtual coffee for. You should have read that person's profile. You should really know what you're asking them for. Are you asking them to find out about their company because you're interested in working for the company? All those things. So just be really clear. But I think virtual coffees work really, really well. They work really well. And people are doing them now. So I would recommend you do that. Sarah says, if you know where you're going, it's much easier to get there. Thanks, Joy. Great to see you. Yes, it's great to see you too. And I'm not a pioneer on podcasting. That's for sure. But I do think the British audience is starting to get used to podcasts. And I think if you get one going, you're going to benefit from that. I know School for Mothers, Danisha Melina Dermond, she's already had 1 million downloads on her podcast. It's only been up for about a year. So podcasts are definitely a great way to market. Again, you need an email list for that, and come talk to me if you don't know what an email list is or how to build one. We've got a special link to a masterclass on that. So I'll talk to you about that on the stand if you want to. And let me just look at who's written here. So Edith says, thank you for your amazing talks and inspiring energy today, Joy. Hey, Edie, I did the TechPixies course back in 2017-18. It's been brilliant and invaluable training. Well, Edie, you are a star, and I'm so excited to see you here. Flora says, thank you, Joy. The course has some invaluable insights and resources. The visualization exercise is so powerful. A brilliant course. Yeah, and what they're talking about is the TechPixies Social Media Magic course, which you can find out about at our booth. We'll come and chat and talk to us about it. We have a social media supercharge course with a 50% discount, 20 pounds off for those of you who've come through Flexpo. So just go to techpixies.com/Flexpo, and you can get started with social media supercharge, and then maybe think about joining our bigger course. Lynn says she's a seasoned tech pixie and still learning from this course and community. Yeah, we're all about continual learning. I think that's one of the most important things you can do. Always be learning. Always be learning. And if you're in business, always be list building. Always be learning. Always be list building. Always be not afraid to put yourself out there, and always trust that you are unique. You are uniquely you, and you have talents and gifts to bring to the world. And unless you get your brave pants on and get them out to the world, no one's going to know about them. So you've got to be brave to market yourself, but it's 100% worth it. Hannah says, thank you, Joy. This has been great. I'm finding it hard building the confidence to believe in myself and what I can do. Your positivity and great energy has definitely filled me with a new source of energy. Yeah, Hannah, if you've not done our social media supercharge, I would go do that. It's a wonderful course. Within 2 hours, you'll get up to speed in social media in 2021. You get 20 pounds off just by being here at Flexpo. So techpixies.com/Flexpo. And there's a lot of mindset training in there, a bunch of bonus training in there. I talk about the social media mistakes I made that cost me 100,000 pounds. There's a whole bunch of stories from our alumni in there that will enthuse you. So definitely go check that out. And Jane says, yeah, fab free course. Yeah, so the free course won't run again until February, but you can get all the replays of the free course, all the recaps, the entire thing at the Social Media Supercharge CPD. So, and that's if you type techpixies.com/Flexpo, you'll get the information for that. All right, ladies, I think I have to let you go. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But we would love to have you come over and chat with us on our booth. I'm hanging out there all day. We've got some of my team on there as well. I've been direct messaging everyone just in case they haven't seen us yet. But there's the link to grab your 50% off. And then just make sure in the resources, you grab the TechPixies resources and put them in your swag bag. We've given away our social media success book, which is £5.90 on our website. We've also given away the free visualization and Canva vision board training. And I've given away the podcast guide, so how to get your podcast up and running. And if you want to know more about list building, definitely come talk to us on the booth. And I hope you have a great day. And just remember, put your brave pants on, get out there and market yourself. And don't forget that your ideal customer, your ideal employer is out there. You've just got to start thinking about what they are and focusing on that, not focusing on now. Focus on where you want to be, not where you are. Make decisions out of where you want to be, not where you are. Okay. All right. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.